Big up to the boys, Fox and Shane. Set your minds free, no locks and chains. Do what you love, roll the dice. 50-50, we cold as ice. One thing cold, but a pretty town red. Can't let deck, shit in my hand, war gaming.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Hobby Homies. We are your weekly tabletop podcast. I'm Shane, as always, hanging out with Fox.
Hello there.
And Shank. And Rory.
Shank. The old boy lamb Shanks.
Say hello, Rory.
What are they doing over there? We have a live
studio audience.
That's the one.
Yes, you heard it here first.
They are alive.
Today, they are alive for now. We are talking about Star Wars Shatterpoint.
Yes. Man, every time you say it, I don't know if you're saying it wrong or if
Feels
it just
wrong.
Or if it just sounds like you're saying Shadowpoint.
Shadowpoint.
Is that what you think it is?
Shadowpoint.
It's Shatterpoint.
I've read it so many times.
Yeah.
And I've heard you say it so many times.
So probably too many times. I'm a little bit hyped about this. But before we get into that,
Shadowpoint.
By the way, if you're new, welcome to the Hobby Homies show.
Yeah.
We talk about tabletop games every damn week. And to be honest, I'm sick of it.
I've had enough.
This is the last one. You guys were talking about mayonnaise earlier when we were trying to play a game.
What kind of mayonnaise is it called? Kewpie?
So Rory has a favorite type of mayonnaise. You guys were talking about whether to fridge it or whether to shelve it or what you do.
That is the question. It's like, do you refrigerate mayonnaise?
And it's the same for like sauces and other things.
Thank you, Shank.
Pantry, mayo in the fridge.
Hang on. Sauce can go in the fridge.
I can.
He really folded really quickly on that. Sauce in the pantry, mayonnaise in the fridge. Sauce could go in the fridge. I mean, yeah, of course. Anything can. Humans can.
With a big enough fridge.
This is what I was told like kind of recently and it blew my mind. I think it was like 2 years ago.
Sure.
Where did you get it when you bought it?
Off the shelf. But some things say refrigerate after opening.
Oh, well,
That's a spanner in the works.
that's why I'm sick all the time, bro.
Because you're eating
I was like,
warm mayonnaise.
I got it off the shelf. It can just live on the shelf.
Yeah.
Open or close.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Read the label.
That'll tell you. I don't need to rely on Churchy's horrible logic. I could just read the label.
Exactly.
Watch me go and read all the label and it's going to be like, oh, sauce in the fridge. Sauce in the pantry. Anyway,
after opening. Store below X degrees.
So that's our health advice for all of you listening.
Don't follow it.
I know that's why you tune in.
Hang on. We're not health professionals.
No, we're not.
We need to cover our ass here.
Yeah. We're not health professionals and we're not providing financial advice.
Nope.
You should buy a Bitcoin and refrigerate your sauce.
Yep.
So,
Star Wars Shatterpoint.
What is Shadowpoint?
Shadowpoint.
Who is Shadowpoint?
I don't know.
When
it's the new
Shadowpoint?
game from
Yeah, okay. Atomic Mass
AMG Games.
Yeah, sure.
Atomic Mass Games.
Now, hang on a minute, Shane. Don't they already do a Star Wars game?
Well, I believe they do, Fox. That would be called Star Wars X-Wing.
Oh, so let's talk about Legion.
Oh, that one too.
Yeah, okay. Hang on a minute. It's like they got the IP on this bitch.
True. They're milking it.
So, what is Shatterpoint? It's just like the skirmish. It's Marvel Crisis Protocol Star Wars edition.
Yep.
It's a character-based, small skirmish, small combat-esque. It's the zoomed-in battles.
Yep.
In fact, the name Shatterpoint is because it is these smaller, really pivotal moments of Star Wars history.
Yep.
Now, of course, it's not. This is a weird thing because, like, you're going to have weird...
It's like canon.
It's not canon.
Yeah.
You're not actually zooming in on...
aren't canon.
No.
Yeah.
As much as that is going to annoy a lot of people, and they're going to be like, oh, no, what do you mean my Darth Maul against Vader isn't canon?
I'd like to play the Battle of Kashyyyk when Order 66 becomes, like, execute Order 66.
Right.
I want to play that pivotal moment.
That is an interesting pivotal moment.
Yep.
What actually happens there, right? Because it's droids v clones.
Yeah. And then, like, the clones obviously win. And then old mate Palps gets on the mic.
Oh, Palpadoodle.
And he's
Palpitation.
like... Nah, not anymore,
It's like,
bro.
nah. Uno reverse card on the Jeddah.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the Wookiees aren't down with that. And
Nah,
the Wookiees
they're
are
not a
Kashyyyk.
fan.
Oh, man. That's cool. Anyways, that's not what we were to talk about. But you're right.
Are you sure?
That's cool. Yeah, we could.
We could diverge in that.
Probably more interesting. We actually, hey, fun fact, we played Shatterpoint.
Yep.
We just played a little game. Now, people may be asking, but I didn't think it came out to June 2nd.
It hasn't
It
come out yet.
hasn't. We use the power of imagination and proxies.
That shit.
Yeah. So the
Yep.
rule book, the core rules are out for free.
Yep.
You can go to Tabletop Admiral or wherever and just print these already previewed cards and laminate them if you wish.
Not bad.
Not bad. And you'll have to figure out the dice conversions.
Yeah. So we use like a combination of like D6s
Yeah.
and D8s.
Yep.
Were they Legion dice?
They were Legion dice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they worked okay. X-Wing
Yeah.
dice are better, but I left your X-Wing dice at my house.
I thought that. I'm like, we're playing, and I'm like, these aren't the dice.
These aren't the dice he specifically borrowed to
Yeah.
play this game.
Yeah. These aren't the dice that we're looking for.
No, exactly. So, move along. So, yeah, we played and we just did our best. That's what we were doing. We were doing our best.
And like it was,
Fine.
it was average.
It's okay.
Yeah.
We only played. The good thing about Shatterpoint is list building is really easy.
Every time you say Shatterpoint, in my head, I'm like, was I saying Shadowpoint?
I don't know.
Or is
dude.
it just some kind of like speech impediment that I don't know I have?
Well, it's funny you should say that.
Or is it the beers?
No, yeah, it's both. It's all of that.
Yeah.
So, list building in Shatterpoint is really easy. I'm going to really enunciate
Do
Shatterpoint.
you have to?
SP. Let's just call it SP. List building in SP is really easy.
Yep.
Right? You've got a strike force. Everyone has a strike force.
Yep.
That is the force you strike with.
Yeah, it's in the name, it's on the tin.
And that's made up in two squads.
Yep.
And each squad has a primary, secondary, and supporting unit.
Okay, yep.
And each
yep.
of those units is just one card.
Yeah,
So that's really easy because it means you have 6 units.
we did.
Yeah.
We had 3 units.
Well, that's because we were only playing one squad v one squad.
Yeah.
So we could have teamed up and been a strike force together.
That was like
Then we wouldn't have had an opponent. So it would have made it difficult.
that was enough for an intro game. Like I honestly I feel like 2 what are they called? Squads
Yeah.
would be like a lot.
You said that when I was like, oh, it's normally double this. And you're
Yeah,
like,
'cause
wow, that's a lot. And I'm
'cause
like,
I'm
that's
looking-
literally the smallest game we would have ever played.
I know, right? Like it's literally like 6 models or 8 models or something
Yeah,
like that. But like
6 to 10.
I was
Yeah.
looking at it and I'm like, there's these cards which are bigger than the average playing card.
Is this like tarot, almost tarot sized?
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
A5.
No. Good God, no. They're big cards, I agree, but it's not A5.
Like, I'm like, okay, there's 3 here. Well, 6 actually, because you've got the weapons profile, the stance cards.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, if like I had 6 of these, it'd be going from like here to the other side of the table.
I mean, yeah, gross exaggeration would be like that, but yeah,
No,
the
but,
usual playing area. But yeah.
But like it's like a big dashboard, right?
Yeah, correct.
It's a lot to have in front of you.
Yeah, which I think is quite common for all the AMG games. You know, think of Legion, you probably have
Legion, you got the cards and you got to like turn them.
Yeah, you got to turn them. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you got your little cards with your cards,
Little cards that go below the bigger cards.
or
and-
sometimes beside, depending on what it is. Yeah, exactly. So that's a big dashboard. I don't know anything about Marvel Crisis Protocol. Literally nothing.
I got Star-Lord.
But have
Not
you
here to
got?
talk about that.
Well, I mean, if you've got the box, we can open it and see
Nah,
how
I
big
don't
the
know
card
where he
is.
is.
Okay, yeah.
Smaller than the A5 cards that come in.
People listening who can't see the cards that we're referencing are just like A5 is
Yeah.
quite large. They're like,
For those in like North America aren't familiar with like A5, it's basically like fucking huge.
yes. If we could use your American metrics, it's kind of like 3 hot dogs. 3 hot dogs and half a bag of peanuts.
Yeah.
It's 6.
6 hot dogs.
It's Rory just said it's 6. So yeah. He's doing sign
don't know.
language, but yeah.
Yeah.
So it's got these good sized cards, not too big, not too small, and it makes a bit of a dashboard. Yeah, and you would normally have 6 units, which I really like that model count of being only 6 to 10 models.
Yeah.
That's very hobby friendly.
It really is. Yep.
It's actually surprising. I was reading through like some of the Facebook comments and stuff, how many people are getting into Shatterpoint as their first ever tabletop game.
That's cool. That's
And they're like, oh, it sucks you can't play day one because the assembly takes so long. So obviously their friends have been like, oh, assembly takes hours or whatever.
Oh, yeah, cleaning it up.
Yeah. And,
Nah, just twist those out of the sprue and glue them together.
oh, I cringe. I cringe, but you could. I mean, you
Channel,
could.
you know, that inner 8-year-old self that built those model tanks and planes when you were a kid and just fucking...
That was my first Tyranid Hormagaunts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
They were all twisted, and I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know there was another way.
No, I mean, it's only thin bits of plastic. You can twist that out of the...
Yeah, and you could, and it was disgusting.
Sorry, it's... Speaking atrocities.
Yeah, you are. But yeah, so it's great. If anyone wants to check it out and have a little dabble, there's like demo videos. They ran demos at, I don't know, one of the cons that America has.
Adepticon or something, was it?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. We don't get that kind of cool stuff here.
No, we got PAX, which is pretty good.
We got PAX. We got CanCon. But yeah, so they ran it at an event. I forget what it was. Maybe Adepticon. Filmed a few different demos.
Yep.
What I found useful is I watched the demos and I was like, all right, yeah, I kind of get it. But what helped was actually downloading the rulebook, reading a fair chunk of that first.
Yep.
Kind of just read the first 20 pages. And then I watched the demo and I was like, I get it.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it's like watching a battle report after you know how to play the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Before you know how to play the game, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, he's rolling dice and moving models.
Yeah.
But what does it mean?
But what does it all mean?
What is the point of this?
Yeah. So I found the rulebook helped. So you can go get that free from Atomic Mass Games.
Cool.
Click Star Wars Shatterpoint. And then, it's got the core rules for free.
Yeah.
If you want to look at the cards and see what they look like, they've got articles on there and stuff, but you could go to Tabletop Admiral and suss that out. And you could also play, but if not, it's there's a Discord for it where they actually have a tabletop simulator mod that's really good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
There's enough there that you could actually play 2 full strike forces. They'll get a bit samey because there's only so many cards that they've revealed.
Well, it's clones, right? It's that Clone Wars era.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And within that it's quite limited in what they've actually shown. Because you need, the front and back of a card and then the stance as well.
Yeah.
So people have done well to figure stuff out. So you can play on Tabletop Simulator.
Yep.
I don't know how you find that Shatterpoint Discord. I've got no idea. I'm sorry. Jump on the Facebook page. That has a link in there, I think.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
So Shane, you kind of knew nothing about it except the rules that I'd previewed throughout the week.
Yeah, you'd send me a handful of messages every couple of days of like the rules.
Yeah.
And I was listening.
Yeah.
And piecing things together.
Yeah, cool.
But not fully grasping it because I still don't know what I was looking at, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so this was your first dabble.
It was. And it was good. I feel like it was all pretty intuitive from what you explained. Everything sort of made sense. The cards were easy to read. Like once it was a couple of questions like, what does this icon mean? And it's like, oh, that means jump. Like, what does this mean? And like, they've got a few... I guess it's kind of good with games where they have like icons for things like that, because some games you go like, oh, well, what does this rule mean? And what does that mean? And but it's like if there's an icon there, at a glance, you kind of know what it is. Yeah. They have to try and explain it, on the card. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. Thought it was, really easy to pick up and an interesting sort of system. Instead of drawing cards because you hadn't got the deck, we were rolling a D3. To determine which model activated first, because it was alternating but also random. Yeah, correct. Normally you have whatever units you've got. Yeah. You also get a little card with them that you put in a deck with a little wild card in there as well called the Shatterpoint card. Oh, we didn't use that. No, we didn't, because I was like, what's a random card when we're only using 3 cards. Exactly. Yeah. And you shuffle that and you draw the top card and that's what you activate. You can spend a resource to park that. Oh, yeah. And redraw. And then at the start of any turn, you can go back and activate that other one, which is really cool. Yep. Because pure random activations can be a little bit unforgiving at times. Oh, yeah. And just having that kind of like mulligan pocket pick backup plan. Yeah. Really mitigates it, because it's like not only are you putting your least desired card to the side, but later in the turns, when that becomes more desired, you can choose to use it. It could be your most desired card, but you don't want to use it at the get-go. You've got ideas, you've got plans. Yeah. I think obviously it changes turn by turn because of alternating activations, but to be able to go, hang on, no, I don't want to use Darth Maul now. Yeah. I'll put him aside, randomly draw,
whatever's next.
You
Yeah.
know? Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, I do like that feature. It helps. And
Yeah.
and the game feels a lot like that in almost every aspect of it. It tries to create chaos.
Yep.
And whether or not you win or lose, Shatterpoint is determined by how well you just navigate that chaos.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is really cool because one of the designers, when they were talking about it, says it's like you and your opponent come to the battlefield with a plan. That plan's gone to shit.
Yeah.
And now you're both trying to just figure it out on the fly and make it work.
And because it changes turn by turn, activation by activation.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like you're explaining how the objectives work and everything like that. And, it, started off with maybe only a few objectives on the table are active.
Yep.
And then it could change in the next turn.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is very cool.
Yeah, I really like that. It's called the struggle system.
Yeah.
Which is the goal of the game is to win 2 out of 3 struggles.
Yep.
So we are in a struggle together.
Yep.
And whoever wins the most of those struggles wins the game.
Yeah, yeah.
So these struggle cards, the first one will come out. This is like a deck that you pre-assemble, you and your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the start of the game, one of you gets to use their mission deck, their struggle deck.
Yep.
They take a random struggle 1, struggle 2, struggle 3 card. And that's the game. You flip struggle 1. That tells you how the first, I almost think of it as acts.
Yeah, yeah.
Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 to a movie.
Yeah.
And so...
Or a play.
Huh? Or a play.
Or a play.
Yeah. Either, dude. For sure. Or a book.
Dealer's choice.
Dealer's choice.
Yep.
So you flip over struggle 1. I said Act 1. Struggle 1. And that will dictate, like you said, maybe what objectives are activated for this struggle.
Yep.
And so we will contest those, fight those. And there's a tug of war meter at the top.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's when I gain a point, I move it towards my side. When you gain a point, you move it towards you. And then when we get it to the end of each respective side,
that person wins.
That person wins that struggle.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it goes to struggle 2 and
it's best 2 out of 3.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah. And like I like how there was the what were they called? The momentum.
Yeah.
So if I would gain momentum.
Tell me more about momentum. Well, I get us 2 more brews.
I've got like half a sentence if that.
Make it pad it, dude.
I'll pad
Spell
it.
momentum.
Momentum.
Talk about what's the origin of a word called?
The origin. So the momentum tokens or whatever we were using red dice, but they would placed on the track, which would allow my victory condition to become
You want a beer, Rory?
sooner.
Yeah, you
He's got work tomorrow, dude.
You want one? All right.
Thank you. The momentum.
Yeah.
It would allow
you
whoever's
still
earning
going?
momentum. You told me to pat it out, dude. I think I just stopped talking for like 30 seconds.
No,
I don't
it's
even
good,
know.
it's
I
good,
can't
it's
remember.
good,
I'm not
it's good,
listening to myself.
Yeah.
It would like allow my victory condition to come sooner.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It fills up your side and yeah. Yeah. I don't know if you explained it well. I don't know. I assume you did. I assume it was flawless. But yeah, it's
Never
cool.
assume.
It was cool.
Thank you.
You gained a bit of momentum.
I had 2 momentum.
Great. Twice the killing power. So I do like that. You know, we struggle, but momentum makes the struggle easier for us. It's got cool thematics to it in that regard.
Yeah.
All the cards have so many different abilities. Some of them innate, aka active all the time. Some of them passive abilities. Some of them reactive, so they trigger off other things.
Yeah.
And it's just cool trying to figure out how everything works together. Our characters actually have identities. So like Anakin's identity ability is called "This is where the fun begins."
Oh, this is where the fun begins.
So
How do you tell
it's
the identity?
It's the bottom one. It's almost always the bottom one.
Sustained by rage?
Yeah, there you go. So Maul is sustained by rage. So that ability is kind of gives you an idea of how they're supposed to play.
Yeah,
Anakin's, I'll read it and we'll see what happens. When a character in this unit, which is Anakin, he's the only character in that unit, wounds an enemy that's a primary or a secondary unit, which is usually like a character, like a known Star Wars person. After the effect is resolved, move the struggle token 1 space towards your momentum tokens.
Oh, nice.
So you gain a struggle when you wound a key
hero.
person. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Then if the wounded unit is a primary, each Galactic Republic character may heal.
Yep.
So that's cool. I think that's heal. So that's cool. It kind of tells you what Anakin's trying to do. You want to use him
Yep.
to go hunt down the big fish.
The characters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's
I
more
like
got?
that. Sustained by rage. So while this unit is not wounded, when it would spend a force to use an ability, it may suffer damage equal to the cost of the ability instead.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can take wounds to do abilities and save your force points.
No, better. You take damage, which is like
Take
nothing.
damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
wounds is different.
Whereas it is different. So
Yeah.
yeah. Well, you explained all that earlier, but
Yeah.
it's an interesting wound versus damage mechanic. You know, you have to take, for example, for Maul 11 damage
Yeah.
to suffer a wound.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the wound is like the wounding things is kind of the be all and end all of the game because it
Yeah.
takes them not out of action. They can still fully do all their stuff.
Yeah.
It just costs more. They can't contest objectives. You're heavily handicapped when you're wounded.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is kind of good. But it's also good that on the receiving end, you can still play your character.
Yeah.
Even if they're wounded, you can still move and shoot and do all that goodness. It just you can't contest objectives, etc.
One thing that we were talking about earlier, which was interesting, where a unit of 2 models,
Yeah.
where they both take, like, both models suffer all the penalties, all the wounds, all the damage, as a they share it.
Yeah.
So when one's pinned or whatever, they both are.
Yeah.
Even though, like you said earlier, you had a good example, like where one was maybe soaking up all this damage and the other one was off stealing objectives.
Yeah.
You know, if one's down, they're both down.
Correct.
Which I thought was pretty interesting. It's a mechanic that I kind of like, because like I feel like those, you know, if you were to fluff it, right, those two obviously operate together.
So let's use these clone troopers for an example.
Yeah, yeah.
I got 2 clone troopers. They're 2 separate models.
Yeah,
They move independently, shoot independently, but they're one unit.
they are. Yeah,
So I had one on objective.
yeah.
And you were pumping the other one full of bullets.
Pumped. Yep.
Absolutely pumped. Wounded means the one that was on the other side of the map,
Yeah.
standing on the objective, no longer counted as having the objective.
No.
How do you fluff it?
So obviously they operate together. You know,
Yeah.
they're a team. They work together.
Yeah.
I just look at it as like one can't operate without the other.
Yeah, sure.
You know, if one of them died, the other one would be useless
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
That's how I fluff it and write it off.
Yeah.
You know, it's
No,
kind
it's
of
good.
like if you were to equate it to like, you know, a system where maybe like you have a tank that takes damage and the more damage it takes, the worse it gets.
Yeah.
You know, the slower it drives or the worse it
It's
the
fine.
worse it shoots.
That's the least of your problems.
You're right. You know, you could equate that to like one of the crew inside the cabin has been killed.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the tank's taking wounds, but like don't forget, there's moving parts to that unit.
Yeah.
And like that's the way I sort of.
Yeah. It's like if you and I were
I don't know, man.
working together
Yeah.
and you were going to get lunch and I was sitting in the truck waiting for the lunch and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, Shane, can you get me XYZ?
Yep.
And I'm stoked. I'm excited. I can't wait to get my
X, Y,
Zinger
and Z.
stacker,
Yep.
whatever.
Yep.
Zinger stacker combo.
Sure.
And you go and you give me a call. You're like, hey, Fox, you know how you had your heart set on that Zinger stacker combo?
Yeah.
Well, I've actually gone to the hospital. And I'll be like, oh no,
My lunch.
I don't get any lunch. And so it impacts me
Yeah. You know what?
negatively.
I'm gonna flip it and reverse it. That
Okay,
it's
so
like-
you want the Zinger stacker,
No.
and I'm going to the hospital.
You're in the truck.
I'm in the truck.
going to get lunch.
I can vision it. Yep.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, dude, while I'm going to get lunch, can you just dig this out so when I get back we can fix it? And you go, yeah, no
All right,
worries.
so for
And
those who
I'm
don't
going to
know,
get lunch,
Shane's
and-
job is digging things.
And I get back, I'm like, with lunch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you fucking doing sitting in the truck? You haven't even dug that out yet. And you're like, well, you weren't here, so
Yeah.
I'm useless without you.
Yeah. So either way, it works in real life. It works in Star Wars. It's just smart. In fact, any game that doesn't do it is just dumb.
Big dum-dum.
Big dum-dums.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good on you, AMG, for thinking about how can we bring real life problems
Yep.
into our games.
Yep.
And I think you nailed it. So that's good.
Well done.
Yeah, I would dig that out though.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I would dig that out.
Yeah.
But you better come back with the Zinger stacker, is what I'm saying. Because if you don't, I'm backfilling that. And I'm making you dig it out. I doubt it. Yeah, Shane and Rory, they dig stuff. I don't know. It's a mystery
And
to me.
fix stuff.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Heroes.
Are you showing up to work tomorrow? Yeah. Well, then obviously not everything's fixed, is it?
I'm taking a sickie tomorrow.
Bro, your boss is watching this live.
No, he's not.
Oh, I thought Rory was your boss.
No, I'm his boss.
Shatterpoint is great. Shatterpoint is fun. Simple, but like there's a lot there.
Yeah.
I feel like we could have played through that game and you would have just been like doing your thing at the end.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yep.
The only thing is, it's really similar to Legion in its complexity.
It's better than Legion.
Everything, you're wrong. Everything
Is something?
is in front of you and written on the cards. Sometimes it's just referencing the rule book for that. Hey, what does that symbol mean again? Oh, yeah, that.
Yeah.
But what does that actually do? Oh, yeah, that. But does that trigger with this? Okay, cool. And then you know.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
yeah, I enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed it more than I enjoyed Legion. I feel like it's it's that Marvel Crisis Protocol hero sort of game in a better universe.
I'd agree. I mean, most people would, I think, surely.
I think so.
If you're watching this and you don't agree, I just feel like you're in the wrong places. It's like you just don't share all of our opinions.
No.
If you're just not a clone of us,
Have
I
to be a
just
clone.
feel like, you're maybe in the wrong place. We only want echo chambers, no differing opinions.
Yeah.
Let's just bounce the same stuff of each other and just, at the end of the day, jump in Discord and just be like, yep.
That's okay, right. That's what we do.
Star Wars better than Marvel?
Yep.
Ideally. That's what we're building here.
Yeah. Yep.
What are we talking about?
Star Wars better than Marvel.
So, what do you think you liked about that?
What? That's your question.
Yeah, that's my
okay.
question. Yeah.
All right. Let me roll with this.
This is improv, dude. You have to say yes, and.
Exactly. Right. Yes, and everything. Yes, and no, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the mechanic system. I enjoyed how there's different stances. Not that I really utilized them enough.
I'm sorry. You've got someone to be?
No, I can wait.
It's my boss. You better be in tomorrow.
I like the damage system.
Yeah.
Where like when you do multiple successful attacks, you would track, like there's like a little panel with different icons. It's like how far your damage would go. You could decide to fight it in a different sort of way. Like you might fight far out.
No, you got this.
Fight defensively, where you might have some abilities that heal yourself or allow you to move or jump or whatever. Or you might fight aggressively where it does like just bulk damage.
Yeah, your stance has like different tracks.
Yeah. It's like a talent tree. Like you sort of you move through, then it like splits, and you go, oh, okay, I can either go like up or down.
And the good thing is you can do it based on the exact situation. So like I'm attacking you now.
Yep.
And so I'll go, it's early, I haven't taken any wounds, there's not much happening. I'll just go pure damage and maybe a little reposition.
Yeah.
But later in the game, you might be like, actually, I really want, if I do damage, jump, damage, move, I'll actually be over there.
Yeah.
Still have done some damage, but I'll be over there.
And then you're away from the damage that might come back.
Yeah, exactly. And then the second thing can't shoot me. Yeah. So there's all sorts of different things baked into those. Because, you do hits and then you just track that many hits along the track.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of utility baked into those. So, and then with characters like Anakin and Maul who have double-sided stances that you can flip between on an activation, you're like, okay, there's so many more options available to you.
Yeah.
So that's very cool.
It is cool.
That's probably the most complexity it brings, I feel like.
I think so.
The rest of it's kind of just like, you get two activations: move, attack, focus, cover. I think that's it. Use your abilities. You know, and that was basically all we did.
Yeah,
just kept it pretty chill, played pretty simply. So
yeah. No, it was sweet. I'm looking forward to the release. I when we were talking about this early, I was like, it's Legion again. I was just like, I'm not gonna commit to anything. I'm not gonna I was like, I'll play. You bring everything and I'll play.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll just be the opponent. But now I think like maybe I don't know, suss out a box and
Yeah.
go Harvey's if it's a box that's worth going Harvey's in, or maybe buying a faction of my own or something like that.
Yeah.
Got
What
to
I-
get me a Vader, man.
What I do like about the way the game is built, but also the boxes that are coming out, like the starter box gives you 2 strike teams. Mm-hmm. So you know how other games you might buy a box like Legion, you
Yep.
get a starter set, and it's like, hey, this is almost 500 points.
Yeah.
So if you actually want to play 800 points as we intend, you'll have to buy maybe $200 more worth of
Yeah.
models. But
Yeah.
you don't have to, but
Nah.
you would.
Yeah.
Whereas this, it's like, no, you don't have to spend more money on your. You don't have
This
to.
is it if you want it to be.
There's 2 strike forces.
Yep.
So you got 2 separate squads you can use, but also each of those are made up of. You've got 4 squads
Yep.
that you can mix and match,
Yeah.
and so that's really cool. That like you could just buy that.
Yep.
You definitely need more terrain than what comes in the box.
Okay.
They actually say you probably need what's in the box times 2
Oh
to
yeah.
fill a proper 3x3.
Yeah.
But they do have expansions for that. So your actual money, but from there you can. The rest of the boxes, all the expansions, are all squads.
Okay.
So you buy a box, that's a squad.
Yeah. Right.
It's got a primary, a secondary, and a supporting unit.
Okay.
So you go, all right, I'll buy this box,
Yeah.
and I'll just add that squad to my other squad, and squad, and Strike Force, Shatterpoint, and we're done.
Shadow Point. Yep.
So yeah, hopefully you guys have
Cool.
enjoyed hearing a little bit about Shadowpoint. I'm sorry, wait. Shadow.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm trying to fix this. It's drooping on me. My
is
microphone is drooping.
Suit. Just too
It's a little,
weighty.
it's a little droopy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit
Yeah.
girthy on the end. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Looking forward to the release,
the
and
actual
playing-
game.
and
Yeah.
actually playing the game.
That'd be good. I can't wait to actually play the
Although
game.
I'll tell you what, with some Legion proxies and some terribly laminated cards, I had fun. That's all. That
You didn't have
matters, right?
to come like I'm catching strays for no reason. I cut
Yeah,
that
but
out.
You didn't even line them up.
Yeah, because there's 2 different. I didn't
Yeah,
print
know, but
double
You could
sided.
have like got some double sided sticky tape in there.
That's a good point actually. Anyways, this has been
you done
Hobby
well.
Homies.
You done well.
Thank you, patrons. Obviously, we need more of you because this is the standard that we've gone down to. I'm printing and laminating cards. So
Hey, it's fine. You did it with work resources. That's the moral of Hobby Homies: is use work resources when you can.
yeah, you take
Don't
a
get
sickie
caught.
tomorrow. Don't get caught. Yeah, so if you're listening and you feel sorry for us, you can always jump on our website, hobbyhomies.com. There's
Yeah.
a Patreon link, a Discord link. Jump in there. We've got a Star Wars channel where we talk about all things Star Wars.
Yep.
We've also got 100 other channels, it feels like.
Like at least 10.
And they're all different hobby games,
Yep.
all kinds of tabletop stuff.
Yeah.
So
all
get in
things
there.
Wargaming and board gaming.
The community is awesome.
Yep.
They're way better than us. So if you liked us,
Then you'll like
you'll
them
love
more.
them.
Yeah,
and if you
yeah.
hated us, you'll still like them. They're cool. So you should jump in there.
Yes. Massive thank you to all our patrons. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here doing what we do. Churchy?
What's Rory doing is what I want to know.
We've got Burnsy, Fire Dinosaur, Lethal, Gridlock, Axe, Annex, MJ, Whack the Ewok, Test Dummy, and Black Apollo.
We got Moose, Elko, Churchy, Rad Rooster, Oliver, Hockers, Penny Aggro, Don Hua Don, Pure Blind, and Big Roach. Thank you all. Your support keeps us alive and printing.
Yep.
Make sure you check out Binge-Worthy Breakdown.
Yeah. They're breaking down at Brooklyn 99, about to do Die Hard. That's kind of cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
As voted by you guys.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe. Or their listeners.
Yeah.
Also,
whatever.
check out our second channel where we're uploading our battle reports. We're slowly transitioning some of our current battle reports on the main channel over to there.
Yep.
And all the new ones are going to be on there. So
And if you like Shatterpoint and want to see Shatterpoint content, then I highly recommend subbing to that channel.
Yep.
For the future.
link in the description.
Peace.
So, yep.
Big up to the boys, Fox and Shane. Set your minds free, no locks and chains. Do what you love, roll the dice. 50-50, we cold as ice. One thing cold, but a penny town